What is the nature of the personal and collective privilege of the Honorable Magsaysay?
This has to do with the UN Convention on Senior Citizens.
The Honorable Milagros Aquino Magsaysay has 10 minutes. Please proceed.
This week, by virtue of Presidential Proclamation number 470, we celebrate the National Elderly Week, the time when we recognize and reaffirm the crucial role of our beloved Filipino senior citizens in building the past, present, and the future of our proud country. As your representative for the elderly and in the light of this momentous occasion, let me take this time as well to kindly encourage my fellow lawmakers to continue our sworn mandate of upholding their welfare rights and dignity in every sphere of public service. After all, it is in these same respectable halls that we united under one cause crafted some of the world's most inclusive and empowering policies to benefit our senior citizens, such as the Lawmark Expanded Senior Citizens Act, the Universal Healthcare Act, the National Senior Citizens Commission Act, the Expanded Centenarians Act, and hopefully soon the Universal Social Pension Act. These laws have been instrumental in lifting 4 million of our senior citizens above the line of poverty, ensuring all our 12 million Filipino senior citizens of equitable and sustainable health care under the PhilHealth program, and provide us with the grace and dignity of living our twilight years with peace of mind, continued societal participation, and collective pride for our contributions in nation building. For this, you all deserve a round of applause. Yet it is also in moments such as this that we are reminded that there is still so much to be done to ensure that the generations that came before us and the future generations that will become our nation's elderly, our grandparents, parents, and even ourselves have our basic human rights recognized, upheld, and protected by our Constitution and by international chapter. I strongly believe that a genuine effort to address the needs of every senior citizen can only stem from an international standard of elderly care and legal protection based on a global benchmark of social justice and human rights. In collectively and unitedly working towards this, I believe that this can be our nation's single most important pamana or legacy for every elderly person, every senior citizens around the world. This is because of this time, the senior citizens are yet to under United Nations Treaty of Convention. Our children have the Convention in the Rights of the Child. Our women have the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Violence Against Women. Our persons with disabilities have the Convention with the Rights of Persons and with Disabilities. And our revered migrant workers have their Convention on the Protection of the Rights of Migrant Workers and their families. This convention should always be upheld and supported. However, despite our expanding financial disparities, our diminishing physical capacities, capabilities, and our growing burden of care, our older persons have been left behind and have been waiting for decades for a convention that will specifically address our unique issues and our growingly critical concerns. This disparate situation has resulted in elderly rights being largely invisible or inconsequential in the eyes of international law. Explicit recognition of older people's rights is absent in most international human rights instruments, except for a few references on violence against elderly women and age discrimination in the Convention on the Rights of Migrant Workers. And while some of these human rights documents do offer some protection for the rights of older people, they are not sufficient because they do not capture all the nuances, features, and demands of our aging society. We have once shown the international community of policymakers how prioritizing the health, welfare, and justice of our senior citizens can drive our nation's socio-economic progress forward. That is why I believe that we should lead this charge in calling for the rest of the United Nations to adopt a legally binding international instrument that shall serve as the bedrock for the level of care and protection for all senior citizens worldwide. A universal framework would provide governments with a defined conceptual and a legal roadmap to expand and mainstream elderly rights, elevate the visibility and inclusivity of older persons, and illuminate the concrete responsibilities of states in upholding its elderly society, which includes subscribing to minimum standards and actions necessary to safeguard their well-being. The goal is not to homogenize compassion, but to harmonize accountability. This makes every country member of the United Nations a stakeholder so that no senior citizen's dignity is ever compromised by circumstance geopolitics. In 2010, the Open-Ended Working Group of Aging, or OEWGA, was established to strengthen the protection of the human rights of older persons by considering the existing international framework of the human rights of older persons and identifying possible gaps and how best to address them, including considering the feasibility of future institutions and measures. Yet, despite its critical nature, as the elderly population is expected to constitute 1/4 of the global population, by the end of this century, progress from OEWGA has been slow and so far inconsequential. That is until last year, 15 years after the establishment, that the Open-Ended Working Group on Aging drafted OEWGA Decision 14-1, which identified the gaps in the existing international framework on elderly human rights and made recommendation for creating a new legally binding international institution such as a UN Convention dedicated to the human rights of older persons. You might ask how can the Philippines, a founding member country of the United Nations, lead the charge on this? The answer is we already have. Two of our very own human rights commissioners, namely Ms. Karen Dumpit and Mr. Beda Epres, have both been instrumental in drafting OEWGA Decision 14-1 by relentlessly delivering their strong support for the founding of the UN Convention on the Right of Older Persons. They have served as our frontliners in ensuring that the Philippines has a stake in safeguarding the human rights of all the world's senior citizens. So my colleagues, kindly join me in commending the efforts of our Commission on Human Rights, which has remained steadfast and unwavering in its campaign for a United Nations Convention on Elderly Rights. Through their invaluable efforts in April 2025, the UN Human Rights Council recognized the work of OEWGA and directed the drafting of a UN Convention on Older Persons' Human Rights. This recognition is not a conclusion, but an expandingly collective call to accelerate our joint efforts to convert commitments into actionable and measurable outcomes and to mobilize resources and political will for a convention that finally enshrines aging with dignity on the international stage. As a senior citizen living in these times of great technological advancements, expanding wealth inequality, and increasing social barriers to the pursuit of quality of life, I personally look forward to the convening of a special body charged with guiding the monumental task of ensuring our senior citizens of a global standard on aging with humanity and dignity. Such a body would steward the drafting process, coordinate the member states and civil society, and ensure that the voices of older persons themselves shape the institutional and implementation. And we, as elderly-loving Filipinos, should never lose sight of our relevant position in this pursuit. It is in collaborative conventions like this that we have ascribed influential and institutional laws that continue to govern the access of quality healthcare, basic financial protection, continued social and political participation, and enhanced social protection of our millions of senior citizens. If anything, we can lead through the examples of our policies, the political will, and the patriotic capital it takes to uphold the rights of our elderly for a decent and dignified existence. It is this position of the Philippines with the rest of the world, our continued collaboration and our incessant call for the founding of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Older Persons that will define how we honor our elders to generations to come. In recognition of the OEWGA's mandate and its recommendations, as well as our country's resolute charge in protection the health, welfare, and basic rights of senior citizens around the world, my colleagues, please join me in passing a House resolution that affirms the significance of the OEWGA Decision 14-1 and endorsing its policy recommendations on the United Nations. I also call upon all relevant government agencies in partnership with civil society to align the policies with the OEWGA Decision 14-1 recommendations, the National Commission for Senior Citizens Local Government Units, the Office of Senior Citizens Affairs, and other pertinent governing bodies must actively participate in advancing this advocacy to ensure that older persons' rights are protected, then voices heard, and their needs addressing in the design of policies and programs that would directly benefit their health, welfare, and quality of life. Or perhaps, my respected colleagues, here can be inspired to be more proactive and collectively contribute and collaborate in drafting a policy for the basic human rights of every elderly Filipino, which can serve as a guiding document for United Nations and its pursuit for a treaty of the human rights of older persons. With our revitalized House leadership and our renewed commitments for social equity and social justice, I believe that any policy for the greater benefit of our nation's elderly is possible. So, my colleagues, my humble plea to you is, let us anchor our collective resolve in the dignity of October 1, the start of the Elderly Filipino Week, as the day when the Filipino senior citizens, united under one cause, took charge in demanding for greater protection, preservation, and promotion of the dignity of older persons around the world. Let's make this history together. Speaker D has kindly provided tomorrow a special celebration of the UN 80th anniversary to focus on care of the elderly, the IPS, the teachers, the PWDs, for inclusive approach to fight poverty and help fulfill our commitment to the UN SDGs 2030 agenda linked to the Paris climate change. With your collaboration, my fellow lawmakers, you can help us prove that the voice of our elderly is resonant and reformative, and our rights are relevant and resolute, guided by our successful in policy work for the elderly arising from these same chambers, our agility and resourcefulness in adaptive and implementing these laws, and our intrinsic value of respect and reverence that for our nation's elderly, we can show the whole world that caring for our senior citizens is not a matter of laws or statutes, budget or cost, political will or resolve. It is, in fact, our inherent basic human rights. Thank you very much.